You saw the Ole Miss game last night with it. They were almost 20 offensive fouls called, Dickie V. At some point, you got to stop running guys over.
And then he went to Villanova. Things didn't work out there. Came here, and he's really been a big asset for this Alabama team.
Tough shot from the baseline. Big body of Uros Plavcic into the game again. No John Fulkerson. Tennessee fans took that wicked elbow from Omar Payne. Suffered a facial fracture, but the freshman out-guarded by Quinterly. What he was able to do at Buffalo, as he said, I do the same thing that I did at Buffalo. I just have a little bit better player. Johnson's drive, no good. Follow-up.
He's back right now. He's starting to shoot the three. Defends really well. The veteran player played at Yale. You know, Yale's had some quality players there under Coach Jones.
Oh, look, plan to start this one. Keon Johnson, half Jones kick. Ellis 3. That's no good. They'll keep shooting them, as Dickie mentioned. They're now 3 of 11. Keon Johnson all the way to the hole, and Keon Johnson now. We're waiting for
Tennessee really executing very efficient offensively and defensively here thus far. They're making
Keon Johnson.
I didn't hear what you said, Carl.
Did you see the promo? That was a not so subtle promo that was running when you were describing the teams they've beaten. You have an assignment. Rocketology at 7 first half. The number of bounce passes within the paint were off the charts, and it worked.
Well, they beat Kentucky, hung on to win that game.
Herb Jones slashing his way through the lane. He's got 13 points, leading the way for Alabama, who was down 15 at one point and have now pulled within 3.
The young guy, the Fulkerson, I'm sorry.
Uros Plavcic, that's a 3-ball. That one drops.
They're trying to find a way to hold off Tennessee, who really played a tremendous first half. Second half, Springer's been under control. He went really well.
Note last night, 27 points for the Hogs.
What about Moody, though? Moody only got 5, and they still won. He had like 5, 6 guys in double figures. You know,
here's Herb Jones. The free throw is good.
If
that shot clock being stuck, Dickie V settled things down or perhaps interrupted the momentum.
And you get that baby, follow through, rotate it, get that backspin. Man, can we go to OT? I got nowhere to go, Carl. Let's have a little OT.
First bucket. And now it's Santiago Vescovi and E. Pons playing catch with it. Double teamed as Omar Payne gets the start instead of Derugi. And a tough inside.
Late January and the commitment to do so. I asked candidly, hey, if we don't want to play, tell me so we can get to work. But again, the competitive spirit's been there, and we've done
uncommon. Tennessee Volunteers have 7 blocks in the first half. Long 3 rattles.
Ravi Trey Mann has only been held to single figures 7 times all year.
He's got it, stumbles backwards as Osifo gave way. Still 10 on the shot clock as Johnson rises, comes up short. Fulcher on him last year, a lot of outside distractions and noise. If you were to imagine taking headsets and turning the volume down, he did that from the outside. He's only listening to the thing.
And the officials right now, I know they will have a quick whistle if anything looks like it's going to escalate here in the next few minutes.
Jump shot a 3. Good pass that time by Scotty Lewis.
Really good find by Scotty Lewis. And Noah Locke shot that ball from the slot. Shooters love that. There's something about the vision.
Throws Pons out of the way and knocks it in.
Not easy to do. To your point about Trey Mann, Tennessee, though, has consistently, Ravi, put Trey Mann in a...
And never let Florida get close to them. This man knocks one down.
That last basket by Keon Johnson, I tell you what that was. That was isolation ball at the NBA level.
Who hasn't? Up to exit 407, or you go the back way if you want.
Good.
What did you learn that benefits you now living in so many different places?
I think it definitely made us really adaptable. Obviously, we got accustomed to different cultures.
And say, fine, you're going to force it to drive the ball down the side. I'm going to drive it to the side of Noah Locke and make you make a decision.
A runner for Keon Johnson.
What a great job by Scotty Lewis. Tennessee gave him an angle. He says, thank you very much. And then to go in and take the hit and give it up. And that's what Tennessee in the game as clearly as it should. Not today, man. His eyes are dialed in.
Team high 3 assists for Appleby in this one. Pons gathers the 31-17 lead. 18-6 Tennessee run since, if my abacus is correct. Here's Johnson down the lane. Rejected. Fulkerson to Pons. Keon Johnson crashing the glass. Second time they've run the lob to Johnson instead of Pons. Locke has it swatted. Volleyball spike. Break out the other way. Johnson with the slam.
Are you going to be a pro? Do you want to fight it and try to be a pro, try to earn a spot? Or are you a guy that realizes, you know what, I love being the best Tennessee
Locke in the corner. Off the top of the backboard. And Keon Johnson converts on the other end. He in college basketball next year, it would be in a Tennessee uniform. He is not interested in transferring to another program. Johnson, great footwork. Fantastic hands.
Of late, they would love to add their veterans, Fulkerson and Pons, to that list heading into the postseason.
Great move. There's Keon Johnson.
Johnson leading the way with 10 points. They are in the midst of a fight for one of the top 4 spots in the SEC, hoping to get a double bye into the tournament. Same group starting out this second half for Tennessee, with the 2 veterans inside and Fulkerson and Pons. Real problem trying to defend off the bounce today. Another drive. Johnson, good body control to keep the sides. That'll give us a chance to talk about NBA Saturday Primetime, presented by AT&T 5G on ABC and the ESPN app. A little Luka.
Development LSU guards, man, they can score on anybody. But, Georgia game was a revert to what they'd seen before, reverting to what they'd seen before, the Tennessee game and the game.
He's been their go-to guy in the second half. As a team, Auburn shooting better than 55% from the floor, and if you've followed the Tigers this year, this is their MO. We'll get Jalen Williams to the line. Well, our college basketball day just underway here at Auburn Arena.
We're building for leaders. Check out ohioisforleaders.com/TV.
It's with you in the studio, right side of your screen, Illinois and Wisconsin.
It's been the better team.
That might be, is that an Ole Miss team possibly that might move into that 5th spot? They
guard your best ball handler, the guy that wants the ball and is comfortable with the ball at all times in his hands, is not in the lineup. So how do guys step up in his stead? And you've got to. As Flanagan really forced a bad position there. He could have back dribbled and made a pass. You just got to, you've got to rake down on his arms. If you're going to make a play on the ball at all, it is rake down on his arms. Make sure he top of that possession. So they call it a 2. In this situation, you would have time now to get a trap. But now
then they have 12 more points from the line than Tennessee today.
And 9th.
Then, but
Gas fireplaces, to be honest. Keon Johnson stepped in.
Match plans to meet your needs with data plans starting at $14 a gig, all with no contracts, no added taxes, and no hidden fees. I guess it's no surprise millions of customers are switching to Spectrum Mobile.
Up that short. Johnson's there for the rebound. Here's that press again. And another turnover. So the press has got him rattled a little. Probably not the way he should, and what he's done with that Ohio State program is Chris Holtman. Like,
oh,
if I were thinking of a hot coach, he'd be the guy. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, no, there's everybody that's watching this game is thinking of their own high school Harry now.
Arkansas was really good last night. They took Kentucky's best blow, I think, of the season. Got out of Rupp Arena with a 1-point win.
Finally did.
Walked over, got his fist bumped with hugs, and went right back at it. that was tremendous.
Contested jumper, good. 7.5 assists a game. Nobody in a power conference has more. He's been a double-double machine this season. Johnson with the turnaround. Good defense by
us. That right there below Tennessee on the score. They're 13-4, not 13-6. That's really good eyes by Austin Campbell.
Ball flip. A little bit different without Pons on the floor. One of the best shot blockers in the game. Pump fake. And a penetration by Keon Johnson.
I think he's really good at his second shot. Matter of fact, I know he is.
Fulkerson double. Out to Keon Johnson for three. And Gobi dealing with some traffic. Fulkerson looking for the slide. Oh my goodness! Keon Johnson cocked it in. Takeaway. Lost his footing on the way up. Trying to muscle his way in. Johnson. Try for number 2 on the top 10. Johnson tracks it down. Here's Fulkerson. Shot clock at 9. Back to Johnson.
It's been ranked the entire season so far. For a couple of bad offensive performances, they've been very consistent, and that's taking this clock down.
Fulkerson trying to keep it.
Czar, and you look at Pons, they played together on the French national team, and also when you look at both guys, they played against each other in high school in France. So that'll be an interesting matchup. If this could be, he was the elite defensive player last year, voted the #1 defensive player in the league, and this year he's averaging 15 points a game as well. You know, he and Czar.
That's the guy. Who knows? He might have stuck around, gotten a ticket, and gotten inside to watch his Vols in a 14-14 tie early on. And there is a denial at the bank shot for Jacob Toppin with Fulkerson on the bench, picking up the 2 early fouls. Keon Johnson swoops to the goal and for Mintz. Now you can see based on those numbers, anything that Kentucky gets from behind the arc is almost gravy. Keon Johnson does it again. How about adjustments in the second half for Tennessee after they gave up more points in the first half to Kentucky than they've given up in any half this season?
Keon Brooks ran the court really well. But what a brilliant play right there by Askew. He created that opportunity in transition. Good 2-man basketball. This is the best I've seen Kentucky play this year. I feel very relaxed. All the people there, I mean, Bill will tell you, he is absolutely one really funny guy. The big redhead. I'll tell you one thing, though.
We've got a 2-point game.
What he did really well right there, the patience. Patience and the poise led to points, the 3 Ps. He was patient, he was poised.
Haven't been heard yet that they just feel like it's so close to tournament time that it probably wouldn't be adjudicated before the NCAA tournament, and the calendar would just play in their favor in the
game here.
That puts him in double figures. A flop not bought by the officials, but then Jaden Springer pulled the string.
Family of dealerships, complimentary maintenance included.
Dinner with the Drakes tonight? Alexa, ask Buick to start my Encore GX.
Get that drop step over the kid's foot and boom, right to the basket. He's come back now. They played a great first half. We're up 42-34. Executed. We're efficient defensively as well. See, here's where I feel a packed house of those Kentucky passionate fans could have really been a factor in this game. Could have been a factor. Not silly foul out.
Might have been on the line. Johnson clears it for Tennessee. Now the paint, works his way in and scores it. Nice present. It feels like it's an uphill climb for Ole Miss, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. And this right here is what they're going to have to try to.
Ohio State with a very convincing win against Michigan State over the weekend. And all of a sudden, Chris Holtman's Buckeye
elbow to the throat dunked on me, and I literally lost my breath. I couldn't talk going up the court trying to call a play. Was enough about me getting dunked on.
In over 2 years.
And even though Kermit Davis likes to play a lot of zone, you can tell he switched this. Tennessee went small.
Woo. Oh, 5-point lead for the Rebels. Just harassing defense. Johnson, big.
Both these clubs 2 weeks ago, when you think about it, 2 weeks ago, they both were in the top 10 in America.
And they're used to having one-and-dones, used to playing a lot of freshmen like Duke, like Kentucky. They have really struggled this year.
Tell you one thing that's really had it tough with the COVID. I own it.
By 12.
Well, the difference has been the three-point shooting in Tennessee versus Kansas. Kansas makes a little more than they do during the course of the year. They're shooting the ball really well.
A 15-point lead for a Tennessee team. That is the second toughest team to score against per 100 possession. Shot clock under 10. Deflected ball ends up with Springer again. Gives it up to Keon Johnson. The long rebound. A three-point play for Marcus Garrett. And Kansas needs more of that, and they need some stops. They have allowed Tennessee to shoot 56% from the field. Another easy one.
Going whether to the NCAA to make your decision about your scenario, which is 5 in the level 1 charges they're with, or you could go in the case to this panel offense, using the screens well, good spacing, all the things you teach, all the things. Look at that triple threat position. Again, I can't emphasize that enough, how important it is.
Despite the turnover problems, Keon Johnson got low, dribbles it out to Pons. Shot the ball well last time off. And loose ball picked up and put in by Keon.
Good idea to force Molinar and Stewart to play both post defense. As good as they are offensively, put them on that block, make them fight, see if he can pick up a foul.
Mid-range on the baseline, starting to raise his hand. Johnson and Molinar. Stone, you better get another tablet, both in regard to next football season and the upcoming SEC basketball tournament. Here's Vescovi.
Gets scraped right there.
I think it happened as he was turning into a do, and I don't think it was a foul. It was prior to that. So you know what I did is I went online, I looked through all of the meteorologists at the ABC affiliate in Knoxville, WATE, and not a single one of them. Like they're skewing the average. It would have been great.
Very defensive-minded number 1 and number 2 in the league in field goal percentage defense. Fulkerson with a first look, kick into the quarter to Pons, outside to Keon, 40 from the floor.
Again, Tennessee with 3 points through 6 minutes.
Keon Johnson
playing lights out.
Pons is back on. Keon Johnson, jab, step back jumper, not there. Good block out by Drew. 22 feet 1 3/4 inches. Yeah, that was a clean 25-footer for Drew Smith. Johnson turning, number 45 in white boys. He is talented.
They really
only played 8 first-half minutes.
Yeah, they've really taken him out of the game. I think the physicality in Missouri is really bothered him.
Keon Johnson looking.
Sí, un equipo de...
Ahora haciendo la velocidad, tratando de hacerlo Josiah Jordan James. Por abajo, no le bloquearon, pero no pudo. Fulkerson. De Santi, ahí viene el de Montevideo. Gran pase y mejor la entrada. Bobby. Dejándola en corto con Fulkerson y después Keon. Han doblegado. 32-19 en rebotes para Florida. Falta y entró. Pedía Pons, el francés. Wilkerson. Johnson, Keon Johnson. Ese balón como no entró, sobre todo. Tomándose mucho tiempo, este es Pons. El francés, y qué clase de tapón, por Dios. Lo dominó en Bowa, el de Finlandia. Johnson. Erró, ¡ay! Se quedó con el balón. Keon Johnson. Jugadas ya para los voluntarios. Drew Pember. Corto.
Baton Rouge, 73%er, knocks down both. And Vanderbilt, only 1 of 6 so far from the floor, but 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Step back, pull up, jump shot out there.
Yeah, if you would have shown Rick Barnes' face on that long pass out, I think it would have been about the color of Bruce Pearl's coat.
You're all stuck on that orange.
Picky and choosy what he gets, but I think he's doing a terrific job.
Of course, I mean Kevin Stallings. Good attack of the basket by Keon Johnson.
And another, but one thing's for sure, the pace has got to get a lot quicker if you're Vanderbilt.
Springer just picked up his 3rd personal foul, and his classmate.
And again, jump stop and get himself under control. And how we didn't even get to the dipsy-do double pumperoo by Pursuit.
Would you describe that as a good look for Pippen Jr.?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that was Studi, I believe, who shot it, but I mean, it still was a good look. I mean, it was coming out of the top.
Pippen Jr. can't believe that he wasn't given some free throws. That would have been 3. Keon Johnson, the Euro step, that doesn't go. Fulkerson battles for the
physical as this game has been. I think I would have let that one go.
Now the lead is back up to 15 and make it 17 and then some with Keon Johnson.
Favor to get it.
Well, Twilke is out of the game, so is Anasicki. Pons back on the floor. Baseline drive, reverse, pretty play, Keon Johnson. Too strong. Anasicki, good defense that time. Miller 1 of 5 from the floor. Keon Johnson wide open, 3, splash.
The mental stress and all the players are dealing with that we hear coaches every day talking about, and that's exactly what Shaka was talking with me about yesterday. That
well, one of the issues that Rick Barnes has to keep his eye on early is last year Arkansas completely took the Scovey out of the game by forcing him to go right.
Williams in here, 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
No, I think what Eric wants to see is can his big lineup be effective tonight, because against Minnesota we're going to shade the entire floor right. Can Arkansas pull it off? If so, man, that's a really good thing for the Hogs on the road.
Barnes well aware of it, and that's
this. How many times in the NBA does the entire team have to change what they do for one guy? That's been a really short list, and Kobe's on it.
Bob. Nothing about Santiago Vescovi suggests
like
Bob.
No, it does not.
Jumping.
And there's so much thrown at a first-year player, but I trust Moses Moody as a person as much as I trust him as a basketball player, and I have tremendous trust in him on the floor.
We're playing and forcing him to one side. We talked about how that was his plan against Kobe.
Well done.
Bailey's third.
Yeah, keeping his feet underneath his shoulders. That Daron Sharp kid is a one-man wrecking crew. But remember, Grant Williams could do it. Eve Pons does it. They work on it every day, and it pays off for them 3 or 4 times a game.
Short. I don't know. Here's a turnover and a push by the Vols. Springer got trapped. They swing it, and a 3 on the way. No good. 10 fouls. So does Eve Pons for Tennessee. Vescovi looked like he had Bailey on a backdoor, and then elevating from the free throw line and missing during the game. He was one of those kids that reclassified. He's only 17 years old. Alabama's got a pretty good history with Kyron Lewis being a 17-year-old as well, and he shows
he can play either style, Ravi. They can beat you in the 50s, they can beat you in the 80s.
Tough shot, fade away on the baseline, and that one drops. Good effort. He comes out to set the high screen, and he rolls. Good defense by Alabama. 10 on the shot clock. They kick it for a 3. Johnson is short. Trick pony with their 3-point shots. They lead by 2 as Tennessee will inbounds with 4 seconds to go.
2, 3, 4 dribbles. Let it go.
Johnson to the rack, no good. And that's
It's right in front of him.
good show from Alabama for sure. Sliding all over the paint, but able to get that paddle underneath. Anasicki has it. Kobe looked for contact, didn't get it. Look at the fight underneath. It'll stay.
Defensive team right now. That 5-out, open the floor offense is allowing driving lanes. Tennessee was off balance by not overhelping in the first half. Now the 3 balls.
Good hands from Petty. Keon Johnson deep into the paint. Works hard, gets it to go. That's a battle from a throw rattles around and out. So a minute to go and an 8-point game. Johnson, well, he has slipped all night long. He's able to make that little buck.
What is remarkable about this Tennessee team, even the 5-star guys, is that every one of them, they played often and they played well. Gonzo's gone deep in his bench. Drew Buggs and Parker Brown both on the floor. It's because of all the bodies they have and the different weapons they have on the offensive end. Defensively, they're unbelievable. Mitchell Smith, the board, kept his balance. That's where they want him. And it skips off the rim. Frank Martin's team 1 and 2. They go out of conference this weekend and take on Florida A&M, and that should be a nice. Last year he wasn't very consistent at making the outside shot for Conzo Martin. Hard to get playing time when you're as deep as this Missouri team is. I think in the country. So if you're Tennessee, if you're a teammate to Pond, you've got a guy on aisle 5, right, to clean up stuff.
3 games, I'd be feeling pretty good about him. Bailey comes down with the rebound quickly up ahead to Keon Johnson, just wide open all day on the 3.
Zags are playing as good as anyone in the country. They are a solid #1 team, even though Kansas really impressed me last night against West Virginia. West Virginia played them well for.
Low zone is stripped, but out of bounds off of Tennessee.
Off the mark, Vescovi the board. Vols want to run. First touch for Johnson, the mid-range is there.
A top 10 team that has a chance to make a Final Four run.
St. Joe's also committing a foul when that shot was in the air. Baseline jumper is good. To Clyde Drexler. The amount of time he hung in the air. From downtown, that's Taylor Funk. Big shot for St. Joe's to try to get back in it.
There you go if you're St. Joe's. You got to try to opponent 3 on 5.
Fulkerson inside, had that shot tipped away at the last moment.
Get anything on the stat sheet for that, but he caused that turnover. Caused the offense to hesitate, travel what would have been 2 points. Because he was a guy as a freshman, he played at North Carolina, was terrific, and everybody thought, man, this kid can go. Had some injuries, had some setbacks, but played extremely hard. So the apple did not fall very far from us.
I was going to say, sounds familiar based off what I remember seeing. Johnson throws up.
In his style of play and the 3-point shooting that they really depend on heavily, will start to find their rhythm come conference play.
Sounds for players and coaches. 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on the SEC Network, also on the app. That was a wild finish at Mercedes-Benz late Saturday night. Florida gave Alabama all it could.
And looking to score in transition. If they can get early shots, that's good for them because of how strong a defensive team Tennessee is. Staff and how it inspired him just to buy in even more, which makes sense. I mean, there's no way you can watch someone do exactly what you want to do and not want to give it a try. Doesn't get the 2 points, but that contest at the top of the key is what leads to this, and just a great push and great finish by Keon Johnson. Inside hand, if you would have put it in to get a shot, it's tough to hit it because you had to work so hard to get there. It's tough to hit it because you had to work so hard to get there.
And then there's Eve Pons.
Exactly.
Another block.
Right.
It's Velveeta versus the other guys.
And look how locked in he is at the perimeter on defense, right? So not even thinking about the three that he made. He comes down to the other end and he's locked in position.
Junior Clay was trying to attack for a moment. Freshman.
They're going to be really, really good. I thought he was going to make the pass to the corner and somehow got the pass down low.
Tennessee gets the steal.
Just not able to do it at any spot right now.
That's her fourth turnover. A step in on the run out. And freshman misses a couple from up close for Almonacey in the first field goal of the night for App. Quick answer the other way. And a bucket for Keon. Keon Johnson, what a finish. First the rip and then the flush.
Keon Johnson is being projected as a lottery pick.
He even has a little bit more length than Isaac Okoro, who's already taken the NBA by storm. Had a great game the other night. I think he's in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Got guys that can go different positions, different strengths.
The freshman class overall across the country is as good as maybe we've had in the last 10 years. Talk about guys like Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State, Evan Mobley at Southern Cal, Jake Akes, especially 35 in white, who's the best all-around defender in the college game, but they all do it. I talked about Tennessee's depth defensively. It is phenomenal.
Wild shot, trying to draw some contact. And here comes Pons. Good pass into the corner. Shot clock winding down. Johnson splits, steps back, and about a 14-footer. Very nice. And they need his offense not on the floor right now. He's averaging 17 a game. Set your feet off the back of Johnson left all alone with the ball fake, and boy, doesn't he look. And there you come down with the answer with a couple threes in a row. Well, they absolutely had to have the game. We were talking about it during the break. It felt like Tennessee was getting much better at the good rotation defense by Cincinnati. Vescovi looked like he had a crack. 8 to shoot. Johnson trying to create.
Look for their secondary action right here.
Johnson and connects. Basketball. Now Tennessee trying to end an over 3-minute scoring drought. Vols have missed their last 4 shots. Johnson does not miss here.
Now we have the momentum.
Scobie.
Now where do you go? Who's going to be your answer?
By Keon Johnson.
I like that.
Reese right at Plavsic, and he didn't budge.
He stayed right there defensively. And let me just say this. You know, Alabama, we talked
inside Bridgestone Arena. Florida and Tennessee, the 4-5 matchup. Florida starts man-to-man. Nice slip by John Fulkerson. That's the start that you know Rick Barnes wants. Got the ball on the wing, and he'll launch a mid-range 2. Yeah, DeRuggi took the shot that Tennessee wanted him to take. There's Fulke again.
Wide open, that ball, goaltending is for him. Man needs one to fall, and he can't get it. He was free. He's 0 for 6 right now. Look out, Josiah Jordan James.
Defender and the 2 help defenders. Nowhere for man to go.
No, but maybe that was the answer. Where do they go to get points? Castleton hit the jumper. Vescovi.
I couldn't tell, but it was a really good job by Springer to feel the presence of Scotty Lewis coming in from behind, because had he gone up on the tee and tried to take his airspace away, and he's just created his own with some step backs. He's been aggressive getting downhill. Jatobo has freed him up some with some big ball screen action.
Most of different defenders on Castleton so far. And Asicki back to him.
Too quick.
What a move. Castleton helps on the screen. It goes to Fulkerson. Pass lock. Perfectly drawn up.
Williams is a guy that Bruce Pearl has challenged to points a game, and that's not
Tennessee. They're undefeated against App, a series that dates to 1986. Tennessee 5-0 against the Mountaineers. Pons from 14.
Yeah, that's too easy.
Fulkerson looking for the lob back there. Doesn't come. Out to James, and he hits his second.
They get you in some long closeouts, and they play off of it from there. And they're going to shoot the ball better the more they get into game groove right now. This is a team that's missed as much time as anybody
going while you're driving that clock down.
Lote flexing his right leg, might have taken some contact. He's matched up against Fulkerson.
Elite 5-on-5 that helped him over the summer, and also just got to relax, got to go surfing.
Yeah.
Tennessee surfing from downtown.
That's a real tribute to that young guy. Gets some loose
I don't think it's ever happened.
Right,
and that's one of the reasons he's player of the year. He caused that here in the SEC, given Kentucky's struggles. And Dick, it is certainly something to behold, watching the way that Nate Oates and Eric Musselman have established their program. Knocks the three off the back iron. Quinterly. Contact drawn, no foul, but we're going to put it back up and in. Herb Gio. Still have 12:56 to go here, and they already have 6.
That could be big late in the game, Carly, as we know, we've seen so many times. 10-0 run. Just the best players in my 40-plus years at ESPN. 40 years that I have loved.
Yeah. There's only one guy in the Mount Rushmore
that day, because all the other things are in place.
Travel. Johnson, yep, he walked with it, backed in and took some steps. Good defense, Trey Mann. They're going to call a travel on Keon.
Tennessee on the offensive glass just went and got it.
It's its first lead of the game.
Yeah, Appleby came off, got the switch. Fulkerson stayed with him for a couple dribbles and backed off just a little bit.
Glover comes up with it.
Not the Tennessee defense that we've seen this year or is good enough to win this game.
Ball knocked away. Scotty Lewis has it. Florida.
Omar Payne with the pain. Brought the pain. Where are you going? I thought it was clearly a 3. I don't know. I'm in favor of Arkansas.
Nice pass by Vescovic. Johnson tried to.
An 81-mile voyage from Thompson Bowling Arena to Memorial Gym in the Music City. And the opening possession will result. Off the hands of Keon Johnson. It'll be Vanderbilt basketball when we come back.
Turned the ball over. He left his feet.
And another unforced error. So this is bad Tennessee. That's a nice cliche, but you know, to win 4 or 5 games in a row is really tough. If you got the double bye, it's a huge advantage. And I just don't think you can speak for everybody. Cannot be more excited about that.
Well, Victor Bailey Jr. hits a 3, and Tennessee can run off their defense right here. But a turnover, but it hasn't always resulted in a basket, but they've had some good opportunity around the rim and in the mid-range.
It's really settled in the last few games. Good hands from behind there by Boston to trigger that defense.
Johnson lost it. Mints
like this.
32-19 Kentucky.
They like to post up the guards. Here's an opportunity. Johnson, whoa, stripped again.
Jacob Toppin with the steal. Toppin those long strides.
Bailey not shooting the ball well lately. Pulls up, he's off the mark. Only 28% from the floor over his last 10 games. And then an offensive on the other end after those takeaways.
Yeah, they're second in the league in steals, but as you said, Frank Martin has said, we just don't convert. We throw the ball away.
We've heard a lot of disco music coming from the Thompson Bowling DJ tonight, have we not? When the hometown guys are on the floor.
The drills that South Carolina players were doing to Rhinestone Cowboy was interesting.
Johnson stepping in his jump shot. You know, the idea, Jimmy, that the freshmen are playing well now, right?
Tremendous culture. You know, sounds great culture. How about Loyola? They go against a top 20 team today on the road.
Hey, Smart and you right here.
Monte Smart, he's waiting for no one in this game. He has been so good getting downhill between the pipes. And I love what LSU with 3. It tells you that this crew right here is kind of seeing the game as we're going to call the big boy fouls. It's a battle for second place in the SEC. You just keep battling. Do not flinch. Watch behind.
Gains 2 points for the first 2 by anybody.
Garcia, chance for Tennessee to push. Here's Vescovi to tee up and an offensive foul before he received the pass. Over 5 minutes now without a field goal for the Dogs.
We'll lose one during the game and finish with one. Has not happened. Yeah, not nearly at the rate that we thought. And these guys, man, first of all, the best officials that we have against Vescovi right now, get your butt to that defender and create distance. Cannot allow another live ball turnover if you're Tennessee. They got one.
Yeah.
Just not strong enough with it.
Certainly a starter coming off the bench. This is a very dangerous bench for Tennessee.
Johnson moved the foot before.
A turnover for the Vols. Garrett fights off Alabama. They've now got 3 wins against top 10 teams.
Yeah, Lon Kruger doesn't get enough credit. That guy's been a winner everywhere he's been.
Layup, cuts it to 14.
They got to do a job defensively. They got to really start.
A scramble for the loose ball, and Kansas gets a takeaway.
Good post defense by Tennessee. And it's taken right back. Jalen Johnson.
The problem is they've lost some bad ones at home. They have to make up for on the road now. And this would be one of them tonight.
There's a third on Davon Smith, Mississippi.
Gonzo Martin and how his teams play, just very defensive, want a good shot every time down the floor, play very disciplined, very sound.
Nice.
Whether they're going to get up there, they're going to go over the top, they got to fight over. I mean, the shooters have gotten confidence and they're too comfortable.
Keon Johnson turned his back.
Head scratcher. I mean, it was uncharacteristic of the Missouri team the first game, uncharacteristic of the Tennessee team versus Florida.
No la pudo meter Fulker. Simplemente no quiso entrar el balón, ¿no? Pero estuvo ahí la jugada. Vescovi se cruzó el uruguayo. Se tiene a Santiago. Prefiere hacer la jugada. Deontay Johnson se duerme. Por favor.
No.
Por favor. Pasión. Después la tenta hacer personal y se durmió. Y bien, Glover. Finlandés es el que recuperó Keon Johnson. Tenía James.
27 baskets. That is a remarkable performance of sharing the ball. John Fulkerson, the senior. Barry Thomas and Scottie Pippen Jr. will spend some time on the floor together in the second half, but right now as time winds down, Tennessee on top by 10. That ball went off the leg of Keon Johnson.
Had a live goat on his lap for one of the spots that we shot. And
that is tremendous.
People at home would like to see what Peter looked like.
and not doing crazy stuff around the rim. The driving the ball, playing off 2 feet, making good rim decisions, and making the right pass out of it.
A Tennessee turnover following the Devontae.
Vescovi 2 of 2 from three-point land. Got a whistle on the baseline. Maybe a Mark Drew. And, of course, Mitchell, number 12, Missouri, no relation, by the way. The Bulldogs backcourt of DJ Stewart and Molinar, one of the best in the country. 7-point lead.
Obviously. But a coaching staff, and Conzo's been through this, they've had some great wins. Some of the best wins, really, in the country, but especially games have you played. Who have your opponents been? Now, all of a sudden, you're starting conference play, where really the fun begins. Teams know each other. Coaches know a shooter frees his arms up, his shoulder up to get the shot off. He rarely misses at the free throw line. Good hustle.
Stole it right back. And
Game so close is because they've been efficient offensively by not turning the basketball over.
Bruner now with 9 points for USC Upstate to lead the Spartans.
You think they don't want to win a basketball game? You talk about a ability to try to change the trajectory of your season just by coming in and playing.
Take on Mississippi State in Starkville at 6 Eastern, followed by Auburn and Texas A&M at Reed Arena at 8:30. What do you think about your Auburn Tigers?
That's why the win that Missouri had against Bradley last night was so impressive. You have teams that start to stub their toe a little bit because you're thinking about the holidays.
Off the pump fake.
In the paint, needs to look to find his teammates. It's going to be really hard to score down low with the length, especially when Pons is in the paint.
Johnson stepped out of play. Only Tennessee set.
A few more looks, shooting just under 90%.
Yeah, at 7-1, he does a nice job on the defensive end of just being in the way. And so it's a shame to see him in foul trouble for the Bearcats.
Coach of the Year, 31-6, SEC Coach of the Year. They are glad to have him here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And a program still on the rise with things to do. Nice position
just prior to that. So, again, the points are hard to come by. You have to make the most of those opportunities at the rim.
Cincinnati, when they least need it, goes back to really.
Keon Johnson ready to inbound the basketball. And love getting to see him go to work.
Oh.
Well, starts the travel. Welcome to college basketball.
Well, but they are creating some offensive rebounding opportunities, just not capitalizing on those.
An offensive foul on Tennessee.
Wide open for a reason. They really respect Santiago's shooting ability, so you got to get the ball in the middle right there.
Turnover on Tennessee. Carolina. Loose on the floor. Silva trying to keep it alive. What a battle here. Johnson came out of there with it, and he traveled.
Yeah, he got up off of his shooting affect the fact that he is still getting after it on the offensive end.
Turnover on Tennessee. Here come the Buffs. Bartholomew.
With 12:31 still to go. See the difference in the second half, and the field goal is 5 for 11. Alabama, we all know about.
Andy would be without 3 starters, including their top 2 scorers in Pippen and Dessou. I didn't think we'd be looking at a 7-point game with under 8 minutes session game. I don't know what that was.
I thought that was a travel.
From the field, they have gotten to the free throw line, and a steal there from B.J. Boston. Boston, the Euro, denied. Keon.
If I'm getting ready to play that. Baylor, I would have a little bit of hesitation getting ready to play Baylor because they can just come at you on both ends. You know the other 2 teams?
Back-to-back big games by Springer. 23 at Rupp, now 24 tonight.
Wheeler tried to reverse it, got stuck.
He's come back nice with a strong game today. Had a real poor game against Ole Miss. He had himself a nice, solid performance.
Picks up an air ball. Abdullah Due may have taken a shot to the eye. There's a block. After this review that it stays with Mississippi State. 18 seconds. Where can they go to get their best look?
On that roll, but Vescovi, as you see here, knocking down the 3, just making the right read, getting the kick out. But clearly he is separate.
Junior out of Austin, Texas, via the Oregon Ducks, set out last season. And amazing to think about this. 10
points.
Verts the 3-point play for Tennessee. He's just so good. His touch is so solid in the paint.
It's fun to watch him. It's almost like he's a step ahead.
Johnson trying to create some space. Tough shot and a really good defensive sequence by Cincinnati. And here comes the Julian.
Valuable as anyone not named Herb Jones on our team.
Well, I'll tell you one amazing story about Herb Jones. I was talking to Coach Oates yesterday. He's not going out the way he's feeling.
10-point advantage. Petty, high arcing 3. And John Fulkerson gets tied up with Omar Payne. Middle of your screen. Twice he got him with elbows. The second one sent him to the floor. This wasn't a lot worse.
Staying on the court as well.
Yeah, what an effort from Keon Johnson.
Tennessee doesn't like to call. Alabama loves it. Fancy.
Said it was a dream come true. You mentioned it. Not of Kingsport, Tennessee. 6'9", and boy, was that an impactful moment for him. Man,
and it's a screener into the ball screen for Castleton. Screen the screener into the ball screen. Now Trey Mann's tucked away in the corner. Good.
Although it would fan those flames. It would fan those flames again.
Into Castleton, nearly stolen by Johnson. Here's Scotty Lewis. Might be the matchup of the day here. Castleton guarded by Fulkerson. The swing for three in Gainesville. Tennessee came in that game as a 6th-ranked team in the country. They lost by 26. What did that game tell you?
I mean, a lot of times you have a 5 or 6 turnover game because your eyes are lazy. Your eyes aren't seeing the game as clearly as it should. Not today, man.
Had to thread the needle. Scoring drought of almost 3.5 minutes for Florida. And they foul out.
Are relied upon and need to be for this Tennessee team that's 3rd in the nation in defensive efficiency. They can guard you, we know that, but they've got to be able to score, and those freshmen.
Carolina were better in bringing in the freshmen, and the triple for the quick 5-0 start. 3-pointer. In the SEC tournament.
Tell you what I love right now.
Really put that.
A lot of times they've come off handoffs and they've been able to drive right down that right lane line in this half. It's pretty astounding.
Pons Flanagan steps to the free throw line, and the numbers there, Dallin, most improved in the SEC this year.
Really talented young man, especially going to his stronger left hand.
But now Tennessee in really good shape. 3 ball.
Jacked up 3. Man-to-man aggressive defense by Tennessee to start. But keep in mind, as we touched on in the open, both of these teams in the last 3 games have scored over 80 points each per game.
Boston, he's been ripped down by Sarr, and he saves it.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten Sarr a touchdown low yet.
Mintz from deep.
Junior season, they put a lot of pressure on themselves because they think of what's after basketball collegiately, right? There's some thoughts about
1-2-2. TJ Moss throws in a 3. I think it's interesting that Rick Barnes evolving within the course of the season. We talk to coaches all the time. There's another one for TJ Moss. He's splashed in 2 from deep. And South Carolina, riding the 3 ball, has opened up a 2-point advantage. Competition standpoint, because I think that tournament is going to be wide open. Only one team, and I said this on Five Bomb yesterday,
You're far more established. Thomas, that's a 3, that's too long, and that leads to a run out for Tennessee. It comes off of a gas fireplace. Jimmy, how do you keep that big mansion of yours in Ark? How do you keep it warm?
You have a bad gas fireplace if you don't think.
They're usually pretty good about getting their body on your body. They go attack it. That's a really good play.
The kick out.
Rope.
Kentucky only averages 5.2 made threes per game. 308.
Baseline squares his body. Oh, yeah, square that body to baseline, young guys. When you go to that lane, get that drop step over the kid's foot and boom, right to the basket. He's come back nice with a strong game today. Had a real poor game against Ole Miss. He had himself a nice, solid performance.
Deep post catch for White. Kick out, 3 from the corner is down. And that's because of Tennessee's suffocating D. Now White was able to get a second chance for Ole Miss. It has to convert. Into the corner, Rodriguez to just 8 points. Schuler comes back to get it. 2 to shoot, may have to hoist.
So it is a sonic blockbuster between Kansas and Tennessee. And Ochai Agbaji with 7 on the shot clock gives it up. Christian Brown from deep and the free throw line. Yeah, Jalen Wilson was 0 for 6 on Thursday night. 0 for 3 from behind the arc. Here's Brown from the wing. That's off the heel for Kansas. Agbaji. That's in and out.
So much more though out of Pons and out of Fulkerson. He really has, because he thinks so much of them as players.
Agbaji hits a road, but doing that because they know they're caught red-handed. Kansas has not given 1 inch. I mean, Bill Self has been.
The lane should open up some shooting for him later on in the game.
Bond's got to be very careful now.
Your team. I'll guarantee. I can't remember one, Carl. I can't remember one.
In middle of your screen, twice he got him with elbows. The second one sent him to the floor. There's one, and there's the second one.
You just hope that Omar learns from that. Seems like he has. He's made a call to the young guy, to Fulkerson. I'm sorry. I have loved.
Yeah. There's only one guy in the Mount Rushmore of fundraising for Jimmy V, and that's you. And continued success with a fracture. Johnson loses it. 17th turnover for the Vols. Reese right at Plavsic, and he didn't bump. Payne hits the floor. Anthony DeRugi's got the ball on the wing, and he'll launch a mid-range 2.
Yeah, DeRugi took the shot that Tennessee.
Trey Mann all the way to the rack. Pon's got a hand on that.
Off of yours. Very difficult to get into his chest.
Tennessee's got 5 blocks in the game, and the Gators continue bounce, but he is 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 4 from three-point land. Castleton tries to sidestep Johnson. Again, the defense. Appleby decides, I'll take it. That one is off to the left. He was tweaked that right leg of his too, Jimmy, whether he hit a photographer or got a cramp.
I couldn't tell, but it was a real...
Into the starting 5 for Florida. Immediately going to Castleton, and he dumps it off for DeRugi, who's challenged by Fulkerson on his end to play. Lock in the corner, off the top of the backboard.
Shot clock down to 3. Gonna have to fire.
Much better ball.
I know everybody likes to say anybody can win the tournament. That's a nice cliche, but you know, to win 4 or 5 games in a row is really tough. If you got
points if they can.
Toppin rises up. Rebound. Good effort there by Sarr, but it's controlled by Tennessee and Johnson.
Ranking from the SEC. There they are, and Ole Miss keeps moving up the rankings.
I mentioned Auburn will not win the tournament. They won't.
There's Fulkerson into the game. He got ahead of the floor. You wonder what's sitting to start the...
Tennessee is so good, man, at overloading to the ball. LSU's best offense today could come for that middle third.
You get it done in an hour.
Right now. Yep. Yes, sir, Mr. Knox. I'll be there.
It's 100 to show up season.
No, they have not. And it's interesting. Teams have to change and evolve as the season goes on. And both these teams here tonight
fight for it. Wheeler gets it. From the corner, Horn.
Missouri has still lost that game. That was one of their better games shooting the 3.
In and out for Mintz. Now you can see based on the Kentucky with some foul trouble as Boston, Mintz, and Sarr all have 3. And big foul trouble has been the story throughout.
You look the opposite side from the trap and wide open. Great vision to make that pass. That was not an easy pass to make.
Top, late in the shot clock. Joyner looking for something. Rodriguez, fadeaway J. And so far, at any given time, anywhere around the floor. Rodriguez, another deep look. His foot might have been on the line. Johnson clears it for 10. I'm going to join the Jordan camp on this one.
Yeah. They eventually became teammates with the Knicks. Agbaji steps back. Does not get the roll.
I think he's thinking.
Gives it up. Here's Molinar and Vescovi. Both times the shot clock has been illuminated for Mississippi State. And then
el tiro de 3 puntos. No, Loki.
Vuelven a errar.
13-point advantage, 4:35 remaining in this one. Nice rebound in traffic. Dessou, straightaway three-pointer, looks to answer, not there, and the man we're just talking about, Keon.
Constructive criticism, and when you have it, when it's going on with your whole team and the other guys on the team are bought in, they're going to
into this ball game. Good help by Pons in the defense there as Keon Johnson got picked off. The layup is missed. Johnson back for the next 420. I mean, that's just awful. I can't believe I teed scoring as Vescovi leads the way with 15. Then there's a whole host of guys with 6, 7 points for Tennessee.
Baseline drive and a kick out. Lance Jackson off the mark. Arkansas is not. Cuts aren't there. Shot clock at 10. They overplay the left, and it turns into an Arkansas takeaway and a quick time.
Numbers there that we didn't want to just ignore, but Yves Pons on the guys he's defended have scored only 7 points all year. Jordan check that for Keon Johnson. Races 3, way short. That was a quick one.
I think Rick Barnes is going to find out right now do they have that guy this year.
There's a big block from Pons.
Shots are hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, no easy, clean looks.
Pons' second block of the half.
Can he erase
an ESPNU? Yes or no, Jimmy? Gonzaga go unbeaten. The offensive board grab. Pons with another block.
Orange Watson on the floor now for Missouri. Corner shot. That's where they want him. And it skips off the rim. Frank Martin's team 1 and 2.
Guy a bump, then that shooter frees his arms up, his shoulder up to get the shot up. He rarely misses at the free throw line. Good hustle.
Fulkerson in traffic, finishes anyway.
Yeah, that's good work by John Fulkerson. I call him the Incredible Fulk. He does a
pot up in the air.
Yeah. Hey, Gordon, I got to ask you one question. Does Ken Palm ever sleep? How's the guy doing all that stuff? The outside was
in a different year in college basketball, and certainly a different year in the SEC, given Kentucky's struggles. With 12:31 still to go. See the difference in the second half, and the field goal is 5 for 11. Alabama, we all know about.
And here, across the way from me, Alabama's Crimson Tide faithful are losing their minds every time the Tide score or they get a defensive stop. And right.
Good switch by Pons. Just ate it up.
And a real hard guy to guard. Man, takes it. That's that. How high does he jump?
He shoots down at the rim.
He does.
That's how, honestly, like the ball's coming down from the time it leaves his hand.
Johnson gets it to go. Keon Johnson bangs it in. 16. Man, 3 ball, and he's warm.
He used to have to kick us out because we're constantly sneaking in the arena to get up shots. But, being around student athletes and coaches and donors coming over to the house, it's the way we grew up. It's really unique.
About both clubs. That's the game that kind of jumped out on me and my radar in terms of these offensive struggles for Tennessee are real, and they may not go away. And what it told me about Florida.
Scotty Lewis goes baseline. Hangs and hits.
Boy, getting a touch on a lot of possessions right now for the Florida Gators on the road.
There's Appleby inside.
Yeah, congratulations to Preston Spradlin from Morehead State at the OVC champions. Met Coach Spradlin earlier this year. It 2 days. They have been all SEC first-team performers. Just really, Tom, our entire college basketball team this
first time this year as the starter and primary ball handler. And here is why they want Flanagan more chances.
Did not matter.
Last night, what restaurant you go to?
And Alabama and Herb Jones, who can play all 5 positions. Backdoor pass. It leads to a Shackelford penetration and a hot compared to where they were yesterday. They were hitting on all cylinders to start yesterday. Gary inside, no good. Petty had his hands on it. Gary puts it.
Opportunities. Let's face it. You're going to win some games. They don't get that chance. But 26-4, and they're not getting in. Rick was furious at them after the Florida game in terms of their effort when they got beat easily.
Soft touch from Eve Pons. He will outjump anybody and is just
PN. 40 years that I have loved.
Yeah. There's only one guy in the Mount Rushmore of fundraising for the Jimmy V, and that's
matchup.
All right, thanks, guys. Big Ten bracketology. Look at all the projects so hard on his defense. He's picked it up to where Alabama level wants him, and obviously that offense has been.
Williams and Schofield, that was one heck of a basketball team.
Alabama now trying to do the same. J.D. Davis, one of the against Javon Quinterly as Jaden Springer turned the corner on him.
That was a good call. Never beat him to the spot. There's no doubt about that.
Difference for the things he does.
Yeah, you're right, Carl. He's multi-talented. He does so much. We know he defends. We know he can attack them.
He's got 2 rebounds, but he is 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 4 from three-point land. Castleton tries to sidestep Johnson.
Noah, and ahead of guys like Torian Green and Matt Bonner in the Florida Annals.
Yeah,
turned over by Castleton.
Yep. Not attacking, then you're going to be getting something. So whether it's the Thanksgiving dinner table or pickup basketball or video game.
4 in black.
By Springer out of sorts, turns the ball over there. Appleby weaves to the logo.
On the nominee list of the 10 for the National Player of the Year defensively, it hasn't had a big impact there. On the glass, Fulkerson same way. Fulkerson has more turnovers in these games. In this game, they have been. Against Florida in the first half, they were not. But in this game, they have been connected, I think, partially because of how Tennessee struggles to score themselves.
Head and shoulders. He's got 14 now on 5 of 8 shooting. We'll mark that spot to see if that won as well this afternoon. Florida's got Kentucky.
Development. Knowing how to win is a real thing. Well, you're up 12 with 2 minutes to go. You have to be able to ice that away. So up 7 now. It's still tight. Little things always matter in his stead. And you've got to want the ball. And there's Justin Powell. You've got to want the ball in these situations. And Beth, I'm sure you.
Tremendous defensive energy.
With 12:31 still to go. See the difference in the second half, and the field goal is 5 for 11. Alabama, we all know about.
Yeah, congratulations to Preston Spradlin from Morehead State at the OVC champions. Met Coach Spradlin earlier this year.
Times they've come off handoffs and they've been able to drive right down that right lane line in this half is pretty astounding.
Pons
did not matter.
Possession game. I don't know what that was.
I thought that was a trap.
1-2-2. TJ Moss throws in a tree. I think it's interesting that Rick Barnes evolving within the course of the season. We talk to coaches all the time Keon Johnson with the foul. That's his second. All 4 of those makes for South Carolina on this run have been from deep. We talk a lot to tell the official that I didn't even get a good lick in. I mean, that wasn't even an attempt to be a good foul.
Not so quick for Tennessee to start this one. Thomas, he ran into 2 Tennessee
back-to-back big games by Springer. 23 at Rupp, now 24 tonight.
Wheeler tried to reverse it, got stuck.
Could have been a 25, 30-point game. When you look up at halftime, and Tom Green's guy just said, no, that's not who we are. We're going to hang.
They lost a lot from last year's club. Certainly Cooper is a tremendous point guard. There's no doubt about its ability.
Garrett is
out and run and try and get some easy shots, easy points, as Missouri did on that first possession.
Pinson on the ball.
And again, like I said earlier, Pinson right now is the one who's really getting off on it.
Pinson once again now taken by Harvey, looking for contact. Has that shot rejected by Pons.
Vanderbilt coming up with a
full guy. Come on with the balloon poodle. It feels a little more appropriate than a phone that just it didn't work.
And you paid
9. I think he heard you that time and took offense to it. He decided he was going to attack the rack.
Look, I'm a Daily fan. I'm for him. Put your head down.
That 4 spot, I had a little bit of a beef with. And I pretty much figured Notre Dame would get in. But it just seemed like this.
Trying to do too much and turns it over.
In Tennessee, just their positioning on defense.
In their opener on Tuesday night against Colorado. Colorado with 23 turnovers. That's really good play at the deep.
Barnes not too happy with Patrick Evans, Gerald Williams, Jerry Pollard are officials for that last sequence. Kenley Wright can't get the job.
Если проиграет, ну Кэмпбелл уж не попадет, тем более. Так что, скорее всего, конференция Большой Юг, конференция, которая...
He's not going out the way he's feeling.
10-point advantage. Petty, high arcing 3. And John Fulkerson gets tied up with Omar Payne. Middle of your screen. Twice he got him with elbows. The second one sent him to the floor.
Are relied upon and need to be for this Tennessee team. It's 3rd in the nation in defensive efficiency. They can guard you. We know that. But they've got to be able to score, and those freshmen.
Andy would be with.
Abaji. That's in and out.
There'd be a deep corner pass available. It just wasn't there.
So follow your ranch dreams straight to your DQ for the chicken strip basket. DQ. Happy tastes good.
To the free throw line. If you can't do it off the drive, you have to do it off of action.
I'm sure Rick Barnes is going to come out of this thing, ideally maybe try to lift it.
His dad, the name Springer for his dad was the right name because he can hop.
He's got a dozen.
I said nice. I'm talking about the hands of Vanover because that was a hard, quick bounce pass that could have caught Vanover by surprise.
Tennessee doesn't like to call. Alabama loves it.
With very little prospects to play in college, he ended up at Cleveland State, and he's consistently outperformed the expectations. This man fades away, and a real hard guy to guard. Man takes it. That's that. It late, but both of those players significant contributors to their respective teams. How high does he jump?
He shoots down at the rim.
He does.
That's how they're honestly like the ball's coming down from the time it leaves his hand.
Johnson gets it to go. Keon Johnson bangs it in.
In Gainesville, Tennessee came in that game as a 6th-ranked team in the country. They lost by 26. What did that game tell you? Scotty Lewis goes baseline. Hangs and hits. Boy, had to thread the needle. Scoring drought of almost 3.5 minutes for Florida. And they foul out.
I think they slide anywhere above a 4. I mean, if they were to lose their first-round game in Nashville, they might bump to a 4. I think they're a 3 that's staring down a 2. Getting a touch on a lot of possessions right now for the Florida Gators on the road.
There's Appleby inside.
The cadence of his offense in the quarter court, and then with their full court pressure, that should help them potentially get into some rhythm.
And last night, what restaurant you go to?
Look at that hard roll by Obino. It's open to being named SEC Player of the Week, and the coaches certainly game plan for him. So he's talented, and he's a terrific counter to what Scottie Pippen.
Quality minutes for the Volunteers. He leads Tennessee with 11 points now. I don't think anyone's going to want to play them in Nashville.
Well, and Davon Mintz is really playing well, especially late game situation.
Green saw. Now the roll. They leave him free, and he takes advantage with a French floater.
If I'm getting ready to play them. Baylor, I would have a little bit of hesitation getting ready to play Baylor because they can just come at you on both ends. You know, the other two teams, fear if I'm warming up as an assistant coach or a player, I look the other end. Iowa, obviously, because of Garza, and do we have a guy or two guys?
3-point field goal effort against LSU. Knocks down a 3-point shot there. Good cut and good stroke.
We're seeing the white jerseys to respect that bounce.
34 minutes played per game. And the offense looks different, as well it should. It's like if you go to a backup short.
By the way, of Thompson Kobiak's game notes, every game is what he does digging in the historical archives when it comes.
I said that at the time. That game loss was a big loss when it was canceled.
And Texas might have been there to be had as well as there.
I know, Bob. I don't know what you think, but I really like Johnson and I like Springer. I think they add a whole lot to that team.
Garrett to the free throw line.
Exactly where they want him to go, Jimmy. They want him to attack the elbows. Little leaner.
Yeah, Keon Johnson, again, just gets enough of an angle. You drive a gap, you kick it.
Mucha rotación, no encuentran pintura. Reloj de jugada en el 11. Y le cambié el nombre. Es Joe Fulkerson el que la había anotado. Sin Scotty Lewis, los Gators.
Es ahí donde tiene ese problema.
Ya tiene ahí Santi fácil, 10 minutos. Appleby. Buena pantalla, Omar Payne. Y la sumida.
Que haya una efectividad en cuanto a la ofensiva.
Algo hizo él o no hizo. Treman, el de Gainesville, Florida, muy cerca de donde está su universidad. Lo dejó pasar Johnson, Y Tennessee tampoco tiene prisa.
Letting everybody turn and look at what's going on with the ball, and they kind of lose sight of him. And he just rolls down the middle time and time again.
Barnes has reminded his guys of that coming into this ball game.
Good help by Pons in the defense there as Keon Johnson got picked off. The layup. I don't know that I could prevent it, but I would agree with the premise.
There's a contested. He's had to tighten the reins and talk about shot selection, and I will no longer allow bad shot. They got away with some in non-conference. Really well done. Carolina, I'm talking about. Watch number 11. Keeps his feet under his shoulders. That's when you can really go through contact. I said in the first half how good he is for a freshman guard playing around the rim.
And it nearly got rescheduled right before Christmas. But Tennessee couldn't pull off the road trip.
USC Upstate just hit their 10th three.
Well, I think the Spartans can take a lot of confidence from this basketball game. We talked about Tennessee.
I mean, his stock going up and up and up.
Just in this game alone, that one is off the foot. In a different year in college basketball, and certainly a different year in the SEC, given Kentucky's struggles.
Free ball rains in from Bailey. Just violent, vicious. Tennessee on the offensive glass. Just went and got it. Second half.
Yeah, because he's your best ball screen guy, and Tom, he could go get his own, and he could get his own at any spot on the first 2 days. They have been all SEC first-team performers. Just really, Tom, our entire college basketball team this.
The cadence of his offense in the quarter court, and then with their full court pressure, that should help them potentially get into some rhythm.
He has done the same in Knoxville. Offensive rebound.
Freshman point guard Devin Askew, the penetration and kick. Jackson loses it. And a 3-on-3 developing. Not so quick for Tennessee to start this one. And Thomas, he ran into two Tennessee
defenders in the SEC. You just keep battling. Do not flinch. Watch behind.
Boston with a step back, but Sarr set a moving screen.
Yeah, see, that's a silly foul. I said that at the time. That game loss was a big loss when it was canceled.
And Texas might have been there to be had as well as there.
Now, BJ shut down really well. Squared his body exceptionally well. Didn't shoot it off balance. Played at IMG Academy here. It's only a short ride from my house.
Boston tried to dunk it down, and that is well in that game overall. Playing with a sore hip. 7-footer had his hands on him. Little leaner. Abdul Adu battles for it. And he throws it.
Like a team that could get out of an NCAA tournament and win a game. The problem is they've lost some bad ones at home. They have to make up for them.
Knocking their share down. Slip off the floor, and Tennessee does not have
any battle that I'm getting ready to go into.
And that's about him as a person. As a player, he was one of the...
They watched that Alabama film, and what did Alabama do to Tennessee on Saturday? They spread them out and turned the game into one-on-one, and so far, number 11 for Arkansas, Tates, has been gone.
As he said, it's great having him. He's not on this trip, but having his brother with him in the program has made him more comfortable. Here's a turnover.
Mentioned that contest against Mizzou. Tigers are ranked inside the AP top 20. Got one more game with just 6-15. The Vols 65% from the floor, 57% from downtown.
His influence. He won't get anything on the stat sheet for that, but he caused that turnover. cause the offense.
These two freshmen don't play like freshmen. They're strong. They make good decisions. They play on both ends of the floor. They score.
App State has to drive the ball and get Tennessee in a crowd and then play out of that crowd. Just not able for a year. I love Boone, North Carolina.
Keon Johnson, what a finish. First the rip and then the flush. Logo, when you see it on the floor like that, it kind of looks like whatever that thing is called.
You are going old school.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves at this point.
They're going to be fine because they are so good at getting the ball inside. If we get another post touch by our guy Plavsic, but
school in North Carolina. Loose on the floor. Silva trying to keep it alive. What a battle here. Johnson came out.
За команду университета Уинторпа. Ну и снова к 10 очкам. Подбирает разницу в счете, не попадает. Не был, базируется в городе Байскрит. Это Северная Каролина. Собственно, вот два штата, которые составляют основу. У Каролины Эшли. 15-3 у тех и у других. И только по дополнительным показателям вот получил Уинторп первый посев. Джонсон.